all this fine day. I hope that if you're here, you subscribe to this channel if you're not already, and you check out everything that's down below. Many fun things like a like button, a subscribe button, and probably some resources that you should read. Because if you have been here since the beginning of this long, treacherous saga that we have endured together, then you probably know the whole story of our topic of the movie Music by Sia that has received much needed criticism for basically every step of the process, whether it's been casting an able person as a disabled character, consulting with the very ableist organization Autism Speaks that autistic people will tell you is one of the worst organizations out there, and the movie itself, how the character that is autistic is treated as a child, as a specially abled person, and the conversation around it that Sia herself took part in, of essentially denouncing the opinions of autistic people and their thoughts of how just wrong this movie is. And we've come to a point that I was not expecting to get to, but here we are. This movie, in all of its controversy, atrocity, nominated for Golden Globe Awards. So, just let that sink in. We have a movie that, it's just a lot. It's very upsetting. And to have such an awful representation of disabled people in general, that we are just quirky characters, adults that are treated as children, just tokenism up the wazoo, and that is worthy of an award for film. Yeah, I think that sends a really big message to the world of how little people still think of autism and what it is, how it looks, and it just shows all the work that we still have to do. And that's on top of I'm just gonna put a trigger warning if you haven't heard of this already, but there was a leaked scene from the movie that depicts the autistic main character having a meltdown, that if you have never experienced or seen an autistic meltdown, they can be very physical, and the scene shows this meltdown being restrained in a prone position, which I'm going to leave things down below for you, but long story short, that kind of restraint on someone who is in distress is dangerous, proven to be dangerous. And yet, to think like all the way back here, Like, this film was able to pass how many sets of eyes, how many people, the creative production, every step of the process of making a film, producing it, putting it out in the world, it passed all of those barriers to get to this point where it's nominated for a Golden Globe. That it's just, there aren't words for it, which is why there are so many breaks in my speech here, because everyone in this process, whether Sia has said so or not, which she has said that there are apparently neurodiverse people somehow a part of it, but if anyone had actually listened to those neurodiverse people at any step of this process, we wouldn't be here. And a little like cherry on top of the whole disaster here, after we learned of this lead scene of just restrained meltdown, which, the fact that you have an abled person that is depicting a meltdown, and they did so by doing research on videos of autistic people having meltdowns, it violates so many things. That's like, it's the equivalent of, which it's probably not a great comparison here, but I almost compare it to like a sex tape that you did not put out yourself, and it's a very private moment, a moment where you are very vulnerable, just put out there. That's basically the research that went on for all of this. But after all of this happened, after Sia kind of just surface level apology out there of, oh, I shouldn't have put it out there, I listened to the wrong people, saying that she's going to cut it from any future showings, the final film, if you will, she just deletes her Twitter account after all of this. So interpret that as you will. How I interpret it as an autistic person is that she has received so much criticism that she has needed, and if she actually had listened to it and accepted this criticism, then this probably wouldn't have happened. That's being very hopeful. But after receiving all the criticism that she has, and has only released either very harsh words, very ableist messages, she just deletes any sort of way that she can speak for herself, or that people can speak to her and give her the harsh truth here of how wrong this whole film is. So I see that as very, that's just weak. It's, what a luxury to do something that is so wrong and then just leave any sort of situation where people can tell you how wrong it is. That's such a luxury. I think that just shows so much privilege, and just how one-sided this conversation is of what this movie is, what it represents, which you can go to the lengths of saying that to depict an autistic person with a non-autistic actor is the same as a gay character depicted by a straight actor, or you name any sort of minority, then that's kind of what it's compared to. In which case, like, you shouldn't take it so seriously. Like, it's just a movie. But the little that people, the greater society, actually listen to disabled autistic people, and this is a movie available to a wide range of people here, and this is the message that they're going to get about autism. And that's so wrong on so many levels. Again, it shows how much progress we need to make, how behind we are, and yeah, we have a lot of work to do. Simply put, there might be more sagas to this story. I hope there aren't. Besides, like, this movie is not distributed anymore. It renounces its award nomination. There could be some good steps that could happen. Am I banking on those? No. Because we've gotten this far. But, yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts of where we are now with Sia, with the movie music, and everything it represents. All of the parties involved here. Because, big yikes. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. So, please share your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear them. And I will see you all next time.